Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Hope everybody's having a good one. Let's see who we got hanging out here today. We have John Howard. Good morning. Good morning, John. I haven't figured out why when I show it on StreamYard, it'll say after the thumbs up, it says US, but over on YouTube, it'll show the American flag. I don't know why that is. Anyway, good morning, John. Good morning, LB. He's in the house. Darren's here. Good morning. He says Nappy Tuesday. Okay, I'll go along with that. Larry Gaunt says morning, everyone. 1.25 inches so far. Long way from forecasts of 4 to 8, but better than nothing. Yeah. Steve Gronsky says good morning, all. Thumbs up, Dave. Appreciate the thumbs up, Steve. Gary Hammett's here. Good morning, Gary. Kevin Hills is here. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Ray. And good morning, Kenneth. Hope you all are doing well this morning. Oh, man. I tried to watch a little news this morning, and after about, I don't know, probably about 10 murders, I decided to stop watching. Not all at one place, but, I guess they had... I haven't heard or read the full story, but I guess they had some woman that went down to Midtown yesterday and started shooting. She, I think, killed 2 people and injured another one. And then they caught her, I think, at the airport trying to get away. So I don't know what that was all about. That was some kind of a hit or something. And then just, the usual stuff. And then they had another story about, they've been talking about what a shortage of bus drivers there are. But apparently they're not being real picky when they hire them, because here recently they've had 2 cases in different counties where they've, the bus drivers had some kind of an accident and then they end up arresting them for DUI. So, oh man. And then I forget what the other stuff is, but I mean, it is, we're in a bad way, folks. I am telling you, it is. That's why I like all my little distractions. Keeps me out of trouble and keeps me from worrying about all the craziness going on. But I did get out there yesterday. I told you yesterday I had downloaded Lightburn again and put it on the laptop and went out there and played around with my little diode laser, my O-Tour Laser Master 2 Pro or Pro 2. I can't remember which way it goes. But anyway, I got to playing around with that a little bit, mostly just to reacquaint myself with the Lightburn software, because I had been away from it just long enough that I'd about forgot everything that I knew before. But it kind of comes back to you. And so I got to playing around with that a little bit. Nothing fancy, just basically a few scrap pieces of cardboard, burning some images and text and stuff like that. Like I said, mostly just to get myself reacquainted with the Lightburn software, which fortunately, when I put it on there, they're letting me do another 30-day free trial, but I'll end up having to buy it eventually anyway. And I think it's like $60 for the Gerbil version, which I didn't realize there was different things. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but if you go to buy it and you want it just to run a small desktop laser, like a diode laser, this Gerbil control, um, it's $60. But then if you're buying it to use on a bigger laser, a CO2 laser, it's like $120, I think. So um, I didn't realize that. And then they also have another version that I think is kind of new, about the fiber lasers, which I don't really know much anything about the fiber lasers other than what I've seen on YouTube. And they seem to be like a real small thing with just a, you know, almost look like a lamp or something. And then they usually have like a really small, like 4x4 or something, uh, area, and that's it. So, but I guess they can do a lot of things that the CO2 laser and a diode laser can't do, as far as materials. So, uh, yeah, Laser Gerbil is free, and I have used that, and I know why it's free. It's be- it's because it's not near as good as Lightburn. If you've used Laser Gerbil and that's all you use, you wouldn't know no better. You'd be happy with that. But if you ever use Laser Gerbil and then go and use Lightburn, you probably won't ever want to go back. Like anything else, it's, you get what you pay for. But anyway, he says not as capable as Lightburn when it comes to on the design. I don't know about that. That's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. But having used both, well, I have heard people say that a lot of times they'll use Lightburn and Laser Gerbil, that they'll use the Laser Gerbil if they're doing images, because I have seen a lot of people say if they're using Lightburn, they go to, and I think Landis was talking about it yesterday, that GIMP software, which is free, but I went to watch that video that he talked about. In fact, Landis sent me the link. I appreciate that, Landis. And I started watching it, and then I thought, oh, yeah, that's right. I'd forgotten that the big, what do they call it? Big GIMP and add-on, that's not free. So that's $30. So, that's another expense you'd have to have if you wanted to use that. Let's see. I'm missing some comments here. Landis says, good morning. Getting ready to go out and spend the day with wife. She has put up with me for 47 years today. Well, happy anniversary, Landis. And a big shout out to the missus, because that probably had to be I'm just kidding. No, congratulations on 47 years. That's pretty awesome. Wilson's in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Larry says, best YouTube instructor on Lightburn is the Louisiana Hobby Guy. I have watched him before. Not a fan. I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm not a fan of that guy. Just something about him. Just, I don't know. Just me probably. But there are, if you just go to the Lightburn channel, there are a lot of tutorials from those guys. Jason, one of the guys, I guess he's the main guy that developed it, and then some other guy that I guess works with him or something. But I've watched a few of those past couple days. Rob Schuster's in the house. Good morning, Rob. Good morning to you. But anyway, I might try to get out there and play around a little bit more with that. I did not bother hooking up my, I built that little enclosure, and then it's got a little 4-inch thing on the back left corner of it. But well, I don't think you can see it. Well, yeah, you can. I can get my finger right. There's part of the hose, and then there's right behind that spray bottle is an inline fan, and then the rest of that black hose comes down to a piece of plywood that I stick in that window there when I was using it in here. But I didn't bother hooking any of that up because it's out in the garage, and I've got it where the laser itself is right at the door of the garage, and I was just out there, had the garage door up. But man, it still got kind of stinky out there. I had my floor fan blowing that way and all that just to keep it out. But yeah, it's got a little stinky out there. And I was just doing cardboard. Um, but I like that stuff. It does a lot of things, and I really like the way that light burn works. So I will be purchasing that in the very near future because I think, well, I actually downloaded it the other day, then never installed it, but I guess they count the 30 days from whenever you download it. So I've already burned up a couple of days without even using it. But I'm glad they let me do another 30-day trial because I let the first one expire because I'd played around with it some and then got sidetracked and got busy doing something else. And then went back and I thought, oh, my trial's up. But I hadn't bought it because I thought, well, no sense me spending the money buying it if I'm not going to use it just yet. So they are letting me play around with it again. But I will purchase that here in the next few days, probably. How many out here? I don't know how many we got out here. We got a handful of folks out here. How many people use Lightburn, if anybody? I see. I'm guessing Kenneth doesn't. He seems to be a laser Gerbil guy, maybe. But or I guess I should at first ask how many of y'all have some kind of laser. I know a lot of y'all have the little diode lasers on your CNCs, which after I thought that was pretty cool. I've had the JTech Photonics laser for a long time, and that was really cool being able to use it with Mach 3 and the Vectric. And this is not using their laser module. I have never purchased Vectric's laser module. I've always just run it the other way. But it was always kind of cool to have something different on a CNC. But now that I've had a desktop laser, those things are so much faster than running it on your CNC. So I doubt if I would ever even bother putting one on there. I know a lot of manufacturers, Digital Wood Carver being one, and I think Axiom is another, and probably most all of them have some kind of a laser diode module that they sell with their machine and stuff. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody now. I would just say, just get you a little cheap desktop laser if you want to do the laser stuff. Okay, let's see here. Rob says, I don't have time for all my CNC projects. Not ready for laser yet. It looks really fun. Yeah, it is. It is really fun. And you could probably slap one of those diode things on your rotary drum machine there, Rob. Probably could. Larry says, light burns on me, Dave. Okay. Not sure what you're trying to tell me there. Not sure. I see. Gary said, I bought a laser, but never put it on my CNC. Okay. Lonnie says, how long does the diode last? And well, like everything, they're going to go out eventually. And I think, I don't know, because I'm not, not a laser expert, but I think that they're kind of like everything else. And when I say everything else, they say the same thing with the CO2 lasers, that you don't just get them and go, okay, what's the max power? And I'm going to run it at that. Because the more you run it at the max power, the less life it's going to have. It's, at least that's my understanding. I know the CO2 laser tubes, if you look at those, they have a life expectancy, but it's usually broke down into low, medium, and high. So if you run it towards the high end, it may last a couple thousand hours. If you run it right around the medium thing, say where the highest you go is, I don't know, 50 or 60, maybe 70% power, it might last you 4,000 hours. But if you do a lot of stuff where it's engraving and other stuff, and you stay down below the 30 or 40%, it might last you 8,000 hours. So that's kind of what they put on their laser tube. So I'm pretty sure, like I said, I don't know because I'm not a laser expert, but I'm pretty sure that the diode lasers are kind of the same way. If you run them hard, I don't think they're going to last as long. That's just my 2 cents worth. What you said about desktop lasers makes sense, but I know I will want to put one on my drum CNC. Yeah, well, for doing, so you kind of are an exception, Rob, because you'd be doing stuff that you'd want engraved on that curved surface stuff. So it would make sense to, uh, try to just add one right there where your router sets or somewhere close to that. John Howard says, on the way to Tennessee this morning, you'll wave at me. Okay. Well, I'll watch for you, but I don't think I'll see you because aren't you coming from Indiana to Tennessee? So you still gonna be a long ways from me. Mary's here. Good morning, Mary. Good to see you this morning. Hope you're doing well. Lonnie says, I wonder if a diode lasts longer than a CO2. I don't know, but that's kind of like comparing apples and oranges to me, because you can do a lot more with a CO2 than you can a diode. So even if it lasts longer, you still, there's still some things you can't do with a diode. Diodes are pretty much for engraving. Now there's, they keep getting them more and more wattage, and I've seen people that add, air assist to their little desktop lasers and stuff and actually cut through some thin stuff, but I'm not sure if they're cutting through it in one pass and stuff like that, like a CO2 will do. Rob says he's pretty much a unicorn for his projects. Yeah. Always a one-off thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said it, because if you just bought a desktop laser and then tried to build it on stilts or something so you could fit your drum under there, you'd still have to have some kind of you'd still really need a rotary type thing to put it on there. So I think you'd probably be better off to just stick it right on your rotary machine. Jim Sinicolas here said he slept in this morning. I slept in a little bit too. Um, it was after 7 when I got up this morning. That's pretty late for me and the Jackster. He didn't make any noise to wake me up. Most of the time I'm up before 6, or I'll at least wake up before then, and I may lay around in the bed depending on what's going on. But Jack usually tells me when it's time to get up. He gets hungry and he'll come over and stick his cold nose on my face. Let me know it's time to think about getting up. Well, I don't have really anything else to talk about. Still got a few minutes left here. Got nothing on the 3D printers back there. I do have something, I think. It's one of those things that's just in the back of my mind right now. And I'll have to get a little farther along thinking about it before I start designing it. But I do have something that I thought, oh yeah, I bet you I could 3D print the parts to make one of those, but I'll have to wait and see. It may not be worth it. Because I think to buy them, they're not that expensive either. Some of them anyway. And some of the ones that I've seen that are real expensive are, to me, way overbuilt. But that's okay. Better overbuilt than underbuilt, I guess. But anywho, my camera looks funny because the tripod's still out there in the garage, so that camera's just sitting on that table back there, and every time I look over it looks, I'm thinking, what am I looking at? But it's that camera's just sitting down, getting a super close-up shot of that thing. Probably gonna have me another salad today. I've had 2 or 3 salads now. That stuff it seems like once you cut that little bit, it really comes back, and 2 or 3 days later, you can't even tell you cut any off of it. So Larry says we are headed to Northeast Texas Sunday for our annual family get together in Brother's Place. Okay. Safe travels there, Larry. That's good. That is good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're going. Oh, there was another story. Let me think for a minute. Yeah, the other story that was on the news that I didn't mention, and it's right down the road from me. There's a little town called Locust Grove, right down the town road from me, about, I don't know, 6-7 miles. And you may have heard something on the national news. I don't know how big the story's getting, but they're saying 700. It's called Noah's Ark. It's like a sanctuary. They have tigers and bears and all kinds of crazy animals. It's almost like a zoo, but it's not. It's just a wild animal sanctuary down there. And apparently, I don't know what they were doing with 700 vultures, but they said there were 700 vultures that were found dead. So they think there's some kind of crazy bird flu or something going around now. So that was the other weird story that I watched on the news this morning. So I don't know. And speaking of viruses, did y'all hear that Fauci's going to step down? Said he's going to step down in December. Interesting that he's going to do it right after the election. So, okay, Mary says, my brother lives in Locust Grove. We have been to Noah's Ark Animal Sanctuary. Well, I don't know if you've heard anything on the news, but that's the yeah, there he says bird flu vaccine be coming soon. Yeah, they keep trying to. So I don't think the monkeypox is working out like they wanted. And I have some, like most everything, I have an opinion about the monkeypox, and it kind of ticks me off that they keep the news people, our good old mainstream media keeps trying to bring that up, like the local ones here. They keep saying, "Oh, we got over 1,000 cases in Georgia now," but they fail to leave out a very important fact, I think, and that is that 99, I think it's like 99.9% of the cases in Georgia are all men between the ages of 26 and 45. And I'll just leave it right there, and you can figure that out. I feel like I'm pretty safe from monkeypox because I don't, I'm not about to be doing any of that stuff those guys are doing. So, but they never mention that. They just act like, oh, we got 1,000 cases of monkeypox here in Georgia. They don't say it's all to a specific group of people, which I got nothing to do with. So that just irritates me that they always just tell the side they want to tell. They don't tell the whole stuff. Gary says bird flu just before vote time. Yeah, well, like I said, a lot of people are starting to get wise to the monkeypox. They're like, well, wait a minute, y'all aren't telling the whole story here on that. So yeah, I do too, Mary. I usually like I said, I turn it on every morning, my local channel 5, Fox 5, but it's mainly to watch Joanne. And Joanne is the meteorologist that's going to tell me what the weather is. But sometimes depending on when you turn the TV on, if you turn it on and she's just gone off her little segment, you might have to watch another 10 or 15 minutes before they get back around to showing the weather again. And then that's when you see all the junk you don't want to see. But anyway, I'm really not going to worry about bird flu or monkeypox or any other crazy stuff they decide to come up with between now and election time, which I know they will. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried about any of that stuff. If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. So I'm not going to worry about any of it. Me and old Jack will do what we want to do when we want to do it, and the heck with everybody else. They can all do whatever they want. All right, I'm going to get out of here. It is my timer went off, so I might just sneak back out there and play around with some more laser beams. I'm not sure. It was got a few more things I want to play around with. Probably throw me some wood on there. I got some pieces of wood I can do, because all I did was I had a couple pieces of cardboard that I'd cut from other things, and I would just stick them in there and kind of test something and then move it over and then test something else and all that. But anyway, I might do that again today. So y'all have a great Tuesday, and we will see y'all tomorrow, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, for 5:53. So y'all have a good one.